Hi, and welcome to the Delight Knits podcast. This is episode 43. Today is the last day of 2023. It is December 31st. And I am here to talk about all that I've knit on the last, I think it's been 2 weeks, maybe 3, I don't know. I don't remember. Christmas has been a whirlwind, and we're finally calming down a little bit with a little less travels. And so I've got quite a bit of finished objects and a few whips of new items you haven't seen before. I've got one acquisition, and I've got a list of things to tell you about that I have knit on, or that I have completed for this entire year. So kind of doing a little bit of a wrap up. I guess that's about it. So my name is Emily, and you can find me on Instagram, Ravelry, and of course here on YouTube. All will be linked down below. What else? I think that's about it. So let's start off with the first thing that I finished. I think the last time you saw this, it did not have sleeves, and I have 2 completed sleeves. It is not blocked yet. I finished weaving in the ends last night. I will honestly, when I hit stop recording on this, I will go block it. But I love this sweater. This is the Allie's sweater, the original. It is in DK yarn. I think I have the labels still, and then I can toss them. Possibly, maybe not. Maybe I already got rid of them. Oh well. But Allie's sweater, the original one in DK by Sara Opie, who is s.knits on Instagram, in Homespun Quilt by Coast to Coast Yarn, and Collins by ZZ Textiles. So that's that is Colorwork Raglan. I have one in fingering weight that I love. I had purchased this yarn, the sweater quantity yarn from ZZ Textiles, Rachel's sweater quantity listing. That is like a 5-week pre-order, which is fine. I planned on it. It was perfect timing. And then I got accepted in the fingering weight test knit, so I do have 2 of these sweaters. Let me go grab the other one. Here is my fingering weight one, which I absolutely love. And this is yarn that I dyed myself. So they are both blue. Fairly similar but different. But I love them both. This one, when you're not like on the camera, you can definitely see the color work triangles a whole lot more than what you can in person. But I am fine with that. I love it. The purple homespun quilt I love having here on the hems. Excuse me. On the, what do you call these? Hems? Collars? No, collar? Hemming? Ribbing? I don't know. Lost the word. But I love having the contrast color there. Like that. Although this one I didn't do the contrast bind off like here. I just bound off in that, which is fine. So that is my first finished object. I did knit, I think it was the 2nd or 3rd size. I honestly can't remember all that much, because I'd finished this not too long after I podcasted last. My other one you saw as a whip last time. My other finished object is the Point Edwards mitts. This is a free pattern, and I had, I think, one completed without the thumb, and then I had one like with the ribbing, the top ribbing left. So it is a fingerless mitt where you can fold it down, and you do with the thumb as well. That's a little tight. I haven't blocked these. I probably honestly won't block them, but that is those, and they are knit out of some yarn that I had left over from Ruby and Roses. I believe it's DK weight, so I did fingering held double in Ruby and Roses, and the pink was, I think, Siesta, and then the purple blue variegated, I think, was Pensive. I think they were what I already had caked up. I'd been wanting some of these for when I very rarely drive, you know, steering wheel's cold, I don't have a steering wheel warmer. If you do, consider yourself lucky, but I am in Arkansas, it's not going to be used that often. So yeah, great mittens, and they will be greatly loved. I'm going to go toss them in my purse right after this. Point Edwards mitts, they are free knit 2 pattern, except for the ribbing is not twisted rib, it's regular rib. I wasn't doing twisted rib. Did one pair at the beginning of the year that were twisted rib and decided I don't want to do that again. So my last finished object is a fairly big one. This is my Advent sweater that I have finished, and I still have a bajillion ends to weave in, so forgive that. But this is the Coffeehouse Fade with the Coffeehouse Fade pattern, sweater pattern by Sara Opie, S.knits, and it is knit out of the Camel's Yarn Advent, which she's actually going to be doing a quarterly club out of this yarn, where like you can see each section, so like there's 4 sections, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, somewhere around there. Maybe it's more like right here. If you go to her Instagram, she's doing quarterly clubs for these yarns on full skeins, which is fantastic. I love this portion of it. Yeah, Camel's Yarn Advent. This is a fitted sweater, compared to, I mean, this has got some ease to it. This is my preferred fit. This is a more cropped, more fitted sweater. I am excited to block it and see how it gives me a little bit more ease, but it's got like a cable detail raglan, which is fantastic. It tells you when to switch colors, so you've got that fade going on. Yeah, I just love it. It's turned out fantastic. I finished the body on Christmas Eve, and then I finished the sleeves like 2 to 3 days afterwards. It's these ends that are gonna be a lot. So yeah, that is that sweater. I love it. I'm excited to get all the ends woven in. I've already started, but let's see. I'll show you all of these ends. I should have knit over them as I went, but I obviously did not. So there's 24 ends, or 24 yarns in here. So for the body, that's 24 times 2, that's 48. And then the sleeves started with day 7 through 24, so you can do the math by that times 4, because you got 2 sleeves, 2 ends per color. Yeah, I started a little bit, so I've still got up here going, and then both sleeves. I will get that done eventually. But the sleeves, so it's inside out right now, so the sleeves are reverse stocking knit when you put it right side out, and then the body is stocking knit, and I love that little detail, and I absolutely love that cable raglan. I'm gonna leave it inside out so I can weave in the ends later. Let's see. I have one whip that you've seen before that will probably stay on my needles for quite some time. One whip that is new, well, the rest are new. One is the kind of in pause until I receive more yarn, and then one is going to get ripped out and made into something new. So The one that you've seen before and will likely see, I don't know how much progress I've made on it, fairly often because I don't really enjoy working on it, but I want to get it done, is the Easy Does It DK shawl with the cotton yarn I got as a giveaway. And it's got some creases on it because it's shoved in a little bag. So I did make some progress from there to there. This may be something I keep in my office. We'll see. But yeah, there's that yarn. I am still not even done with the first ball, but I'm getting closer and it's a mess now. So there's that. The yarn, I show it every time. I'm not going to show it this time, but I think just a combination of the cotton yarn and then I have it on my Ginger Pride wooden needles is just, I'm getting ready to purchase I'm eventually going to purchase another set of interchangeable set of Chagus because I'm not a fan of the wooden. I want metal. Cords are just better and it's what I prefer. I purchased those Knitter's Pride when I was beginning. I say as I was starting to become a capital K knitter. I was right when I was doing hand dye, or right when I first started purchasing hand dyed and getting really into Ravelry. Golly, was that 5 years ago? Maybe more? I don't know. Golly, it's been a while. I've been podcasting for 2.5 years now, I think. Jeez Louise. So, that is that. I will probably switch this bag around to the stripes and just leave it in here. Probably won't get touched, but that marker is moved and we'll see how much I can get done before the next time I podcast. My next project, I cast on to go to the movies to take my daughter to see, what did we see? Migration? One about ducks. It was a good little movie. But I cast on a pair of socks for my daughter, and this is out of, that is an old tag. So the yarn I bought at Hot Springs Fiber Co. Nope, you're on this side today. And that is the yarn. I don't know if that's gonna focus enough. It doesn't matter that much. It's something my daughter picked out. Here's the yarn. It is definitely a pooling yarn. So my daughter is 4 and she wanted a pair of socks. Because she is 4 and she's a big 4-year-old and grows super fast, I cast on 64 stitches. And I'm doing a 2x2 ribbing, and I'm not even going to do a heel. I'm going to do 2x2 ribbing all the way and then the toe. And we're going to see how that goes. So this is as far as I've gotten. I did do 2x2 ribbing in the movies for a little bit, and then I kept getting off, and like I could tell that I was getting off. There was one point I dropped a stitch, but I figured it out. And the light, when it got super light, I just hold it up like this and it'd work out. But it is definitely pooling. I think it's pretty cool and I think she'll love it. But yeah, my 2x2 ribbing 64 stitch sock all the way. I've got 40, probably almost 60 rounds done, and we'll see how that moves forward. This will just be a pickup when I get to it sock. But you can see, so it's mainly purple. I held it out last time, and then you got some pink, and then it goes blue, and then it goes to purple again. So you've got this much of it. That I wish they would have put the yellow and the blue next to each other instead of the blue and the pink next to each other, because that just makes the purple that's there in the middle. That's everything purple, so, but that's okay. That's the colored portion, and then you've got a lot that's not colored, or it is colored, it's purple. These are the color pooling portion. It's knitting up great. And those are kind of going to be on the back burner along with the Easy Does It DK shawl that will eventually get done. let's see, I've got 2 other things. Let me take a drink of my coffee here, see if it's even worth drinking. Okay. In my other By the Bay Bagco bag, which is what my sock bag was, which is what all my bags are. I am knitting some more swatches for Addie of Ruby and Rose's yarn. This is her new collection. I don't have colorway names, and I don't know. I'm not going to share the collection name. But that's okay. But I've got 2 colorways currently, and she'll be sending me some more, and I'm doing DK swatches, and then I will be doing DK socks out of all, I think there's 13 colorways. So we'll do striped socks out of the 13 colorways, 2 pairs, I think. So here's the first 2 in cake form. And then I've got, this is the swatch that will be used because one of them pulled weird. So they need to be blocked, but Addie likes to block them herself. They're just 5.5 by 5.5 inch squares that are stocking knit with garter on the edges. So that is section 1, and I think it's fairly good coloring. If you want to see the reverse stocking knit side. This is the other one where the blue speckles all pulled onto this one side. So this will probably be ripped out and used for socks. I have it marked by a slip knot on one side. And then here is the other one. I like this one a lot. It's a good fall one. Yep. So I've gotten 2 done. It takes me less than an hour to do this. I will probably make a project page like I did for her Yarn Eri collection swatches, but because I wrote this up myself, I will put like the recipe pattern, whatever you want to call it, in the Ravelry project page notes when I get there. You probably won't see it by the time I post this podcast. There's only 2. I'll get more later. So that's in here, and I will eventually put the socks in there. My other one is also a sample, and it's in this bag that desperately needs a wash. This was going to be a Stonecrop Pullover by, so that's what the dimension, or what the pattern looks like. I don't think I have any pictures of it because I always don't print out the pictures. It was going to be, but it is in those same 2 colorways, the brown and the yellow, and with this is the contrast and this is the main color, but they're not enough contrast. I wonder if I switch it to black and white when I edit. Editing Emily, you're actually gonna have to do something. Let's switch it to black and white and see what the contrast looks like, because I'm very curious. But when there's a lot of gold in here, like you can see there, that when the color work ties in, it doesn't pick up. So we are switching this pattern to be a striped birch pullover, which I will rip this out and cast that on, or swatch for it while this is in the water. I got lots of stuff to do today. Here is this is in her plump rose base. The other one's in her DK base. Here's my swatch for it. Let me tell you, there's baubles, and I'm kind of very, very happy that I don't have to do over 1,000 baubles. I don't remember. I think it's High Society and Persian are these 2 colorways that I used. They're just some that I had sitting around from previous things I've done with Addie, that I swatched before I even got the yarn, because it's a pretty quick turnaround. So that's what this is. I love these. You can see with this color story that's high contrast. You kind of need it to see that color work, that 1x1 here and then the 2x2 there. So here is what I've actually done on that. And you know what? I can take the needles out of here because it doesn't matter. It's getting ripped out. I did 1 row of bobbles. I guess you can kind of see it, but it's not enough. There's a lot of gold in that. Like, you can see that golden bobble there. We're just going to do, it'll be so much better in stripes. Yeah, it'll be better. So there is that. I got to the 3rd yoke increase and was flying along. The cable, there's little cables around each of these. There's so much detail in this sweater. It would do better for tonals, I think, too. Maybe she'll revisit it in the future. But there's that. As far as I got on that, it has short rows up here. So we're going to rip that out, weigh it, see how much I used, and cast on a new sweater. And that is all that I have knit on in the last few weeks. And we're back. Now I should have more storage on my phone. When you have kids, that's a constant problem. But I think I was talking about acquisitions. My sister got me this yarn holder. And so it is, so you put, this piece is what screws, let me just get it all together. There's 2 different size dowels, is what you want to call them, I guess. But you screw this onto here. I'll just do one now. And then you put your cake on top of this, and then when you pull from the outside, it like spins it. And so that will probably be used more so in the future when my kids aren't just going to come by and spin it and grab my knitting and make a mess. But it is something that I think I will use. I'm also an inside the cake, pull from the inside of the cake, and that's not as easy with this. So if I ever switch to outside of the cake, it'll be good. But I will definitely use it in the future, or like when I'm sitting here knitting in bed after my kids have gone to bed. So thank you, Megan, for that. Let me get this put back up. And we can talk about all that I have knit on, all of my finished objects, I guess my stats, kind of, for 2023. Since we are coming to the end, okay, how did I have this in here? Since we are coming to the end of 2023. Let's see. I have, there we go, got it. In 20, let's get this put on first. Okay, so I went through my Ravelry this yesterday evening. Went through and tallied up all that I have made. I had 38 total finished objects. I knit a total of 4 Musselburgh hats. I knit 12 pairs of socks. I knit 13 sweaters or tops, so like short sleeve tops, 2 shawls, and 3 of all of those were test knits, and 5 of the items that I knit were samples. 14 of all of my knits this year were gifts as well. So things that I knit for people besides myself, which is a lot. I think I did more gift knitting this year than I have ever in the past. Out of the 4 Musselburghs I made, 3 of those were gifts. I knit a pair of socks a month through April. I started a pair in May that I did not finish till October, and I did not start knitting socks until October again. So I went from like May, June, July, August, September. I went 6 months of the year without knitting socks. And then I knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the 6 pairs of socks I knit since October were gifts. It's pretty interesting. That's very interesting to me. What else is there? My most worn knits that I finished this year were definitely, I pulled them out when I pulled my other sweater out. This one I did not like imagine, but it is the Flores. I don't remember who the Flores is by. This yarn is Snowdrift by ZZ Textiles. Snowdrift, or yeah, because the other one is Snowmelt that I knit. It is a broken ribbed short sleeve top. I've worn this so much, and I honestly need to probably wash it. I've worn it that much, but I love this thing. It is my go-to throw it on for the office. I mean, I am in Arkansas, and so it's warmer than most climates. Not really for knitting sweaters. But that's okay. We're getting into that time of year. But this is my most worn top, surprisingly. And then my absolutely most worn, like wear it everywhere, it definitely needs a wash and a depilling, is my Garti Cardi. The Garti Cardi is a pattern by Anna of the Bluebird box, and this is my 2022 Ruby and Roses Advent. And I absolutely love this pattern. Love this knit, wear it. It's my, like, grab it every day type jacket. Love it, and will continue to keep wearing it. And I do wear my knitted socks. These are a pair from a few years ago. I wear them pretty much every day. And so I guess you could say those are my most worn items. And I do tend to go for my scrappy socks first too. Yeah, that is all that I have completed for the year. It's interesting looking back at all that kind of stuff and remembering what I did knit this year. Like the fact that I knit 4 Musselburghs and 3 of them were gifts. The fact that I knit 14 gifts. I mean, that's a lot. What else? And I finished a lot in December. I mean, I knit both of these sleeves, which is DK. I mean, it's not much. I knit this entire thing, and these got finished in December. I knit that black hat in December. That one just took me like 2 days. And then I also knit a pair of socks, and I think I finished those in December too. Pretty sure it was December. So that was a lot. But I obviously enjoy knitting and hope to keep doing it. There are, so there's this trend going around through Knitstagram of like stashing down and using from your stash. And of course I'm an accountant. I'm working to be a CPA. So my goal is to also, not buy yarn this year. Which, I mean, I didn't really buy much yarn to begin with. I like to buy with specific patterns in mind. But I do get offered, like, I have a great relationship with Addie of Ruby and Roses Yarn, and I get to sample knit for her quite often. 3 of the 5 samples I did were for her. One of them was a sweater, the cricket sweater for her husband. I did the Into the Bloom cowl. I did her entire Yarnary collection swatches, which I counted as one thing. What else was there? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that was it for her. But I also did her Christmas sampler test knit, and I did her tech edited her traveler's blanket. So I have outstanding gift cards of quite a bit for her shop, and have plans to purchase yarn in the future. Although I think she's bringing on needles, so that may be how I get my new set of needles. And so I do want to knit myself. I eventually want to get that rose cardigan that I have yarn for, that I've been talking about for 3 years now. That was going to be my next sweater cast on till this sample. That seems to be a reoccurring thing, which is fine. And then I want to knit myself a Dear Duomo. I did one of those as a sample this year, and I absolutely want one of those for myself. And I have yarn to dye for that, because I have a whole bear yarn stash too. And then I just have a lot of yarn. I have, what I do plan on doing is I have quite a bit of leftovers from this Advent, and then I have leftovers from my Fiber Fox Advent from last year, and I want to mix and match them together. They are the same base. I'm 99.9% sure they're the same base. I want to put those two together and make something else, because I think I've got a little over a skein and a half worth, so like maybe it's like 1.8 or 1.7 or 170 grams left from the Fiber Fox Advent last year, and put it together with this into like its own new fade and make a new project. But that one's gonna take some time. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think I'm just rambling at this point, so I'm going to close out my last podcast for 2023, and I'm gonna go block this, and I'm gonna go swatch for the Birch pullover for that sample, and I will see you at some point in the new year. January through April may be hectic. You may only see me once a month, as I'm studying for the CPA exam, and it is my first tax season at my new job at a CPA firm, so it's gonna be hectic. And I have a 4-year-old and a soon-to-be 2-year-old here in 2 weeks, so life is hectic. And I will see you. I enjoy doing this, even if, I don't think that many people watch it, but that's okay. I will enjoy getting to look back and watch us in the future. It's really for my own purposes, but I enjoy it. So I will speak with y'all again at some point in the new year. See you later. Bye.